Welcome to day 4 of our week-long investigation into fractions. For today's learning intention, we are going to be labeling the sections of a shape. So determining what fraction of the shape is each section. So we've done a bit of work looking at 1/2. So we'll use what we know about 1/2 to help us get started. But we'll also start looking at some other fractions, maybe 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, and so on. So let's jump in and get started right away. So here we have a geoboard that's divided into 5 sections, section A, B, C, D, and E. And what we want to do is determine what fraction of the shape each letter section represents. So I'm going to start with section A first, because that looks familiar. When we were building half with a geoboard, we divided it right down the middle into the top and bottom, showing that each side was a half. So I can see that A is formed by a line right down the middle. Another way to think about it is that A is made up of 8 of those little boxes, and the bottom section, B, C, D, and E, are all made up of 8 little boxes in total. So I know that A is equal to 1/2. So I will label that 1/2 on my notebook. Then I'm going to go to section B. Now it gets a little bit trickier, and there are lots of different ways I can think about section B to help me put a label to it to see what fraction of the whole shape this is. I can compare B to A, but I can also look at shape B and think, how many of this exact same shape B could fit into my whole big overall square? So I see that B is kind of one stretch across from left to right. And if I visualize in this shape, I can see that I can stack 2 more of that B shape on top of the B and one of them right below. So that means that I could fit 4 of these B's in the whole big shape. So that means that section B is equal to 1/4. Now I'm going to keep going and try that with E. Can you figure out how many of those E boxes can fit in this overall shape? So please pause the video for a moment while you try to figure out what fraction of the shape the E represents. Okay, as you might have guessed, E, we can fit 8 of the E shape in this box. We can see that E is the same as the C and D, so there would be 2 in that bottom row, 2 in the B row, 2 in the row above it, 2 in the row above it, for a total of 8. So E is equal to 1/8. Now, can you try to figure out the fractional shape for C and D? Please pause the video while you try to figure that out. All right, and welcome back. And here, let's take a look at the answers. So as you can see, A represents 1/2 of the overall shape, B represents 1/4, E represents 1/8, C represents 1/16, and D represents 1/16. You may also notice that B is exactly half of shape A, and I can see a relationship between those fractions. A is 1/2, B is 1/4. E is half of B, so 1/8 is half of 1/4. Okay, great. And now you are going to try it on your own. The shape looks different, but the same concept applies. We want to label what fraction of the whole shape is shape A, shape B, shape C, shape D, and E. And we are going to do things like compare the shapes and think how many of that small shape can fit into the overall big rectangular shape. Once you've labeled that, you can go to the Geoboard app, and we're going to create our own shape, label it in your notebook, Then we're going to add that shape to our class slideshow so that you can try to see what your classmates came up with and try to solve some of your classmates, and they will solve some of yours. All right, good luck.